What's happening? Hope you're doing well. Got another Frontier video for you today. If you watched us do the 2-inch lift on this, you know we should have done an alignment on the truck, and we just haven't got to that because every time we call a shop, you know, they're booked when we're free, and when they're free, I'm busy. And so I happened to look down, and right here, as you can see, there's belt showing there. So these tires are so worn that it's now a safety hazard for me to drive on the road. So we need some new shoes, and we're gonna do that today. Made a call to the tire shop, and they're gonna have the tires there this morning. We've got our wheels loaded up, and you know, honestly, I was looking at this wheel well area here, and you know, these are stock wheels and tires, and it does not look like there's a lot of room for much, you know, a tire that's much bigger than these, and these aren't very big. So we're gonna see if we can cram some 285/70s on the truck, and our wheels that we're gonna go with are a 17-inch wheel. So you could think of this as, you know, will the stock wheels fit on a 285/70? I don't know, we'll see. So we're gonna head to the shop right now. All right, so we're here, and we're gonna go ahead and get unloaded, let them do their thing. I think I'm gonna have to wait just a little bit, which is not a big deal. I called him like an hour before closing yesterday. He said, I don't have the tires, but I have them here in the morning. So that's pretty good service. I definitely will wait for that, and we'll see how everything goes. Okay, back from the shop. Truck looks pretty solid. I definitely like the look. I think these are some pretty sharp wheels. I love the simplicity of a 6-spoke design. Really like them, and it looks really good with the black on black. Well, I'm sorry, the gray on black. Honestly, I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the bronze, and the one thing that really made me stick with the black is that I couldn't tell if the bronze was the true bronze. It almost looked gold in some pictures. What's up, George? You want to be in the video? Okay. You sweet cat. So yeah, anyways, I couldn't tell if the wheels were gold or actually bronze, but I like the black look. Tires do stick out. Probably the actual surface area of the tire is still flush with our fender, but the sidewall of the tire does stick out a little bit, but I'm okay with that. We crammed them in here. I mean, look at this. There's hardly any room for a bigger tire than a 285/70/17, and you would really have to lift this up at least 6 inches to get a bigger wheel on there. I'm sorry, a bigger tire. It does add just a hair extra height wise to the truck. Let's do that. Let's do a comparison of the old wheel versus the new wheel, just so we can see what the height is. Okay, so it's a little bit of a difference there. So we go right between the tires. The new tires mounted are they're really right at 32 inches. 32-inch tire, and then our stock tires looking about 30.5. I know the camera angle is making it look like it's about 30, but it's really about 30.5. So it's 1.5 inch difference on the tire height. Of course, our old Michelins are worn out, so probably not quite 1.5 inch difference. All right, so it's been a few days since we've had the wheels on, and I just wanted to point out a quick thing in the clearance and the issue with the tires rubbing. There's a pretty big concern with your turning radius. These tires definitely scrub here, and so we got the steering wheel is centered, and I'm going to start turning it, and for whatever reason I can go to the left. It turns a little bit farther that direction before I notice contact And it's very subtle right in here. You can see there's not a lot. I mean, it's rubbed the dirt off, but there's not a ton of wear. Let me go back just a little bit. Right there is where you're hitting. Just a little bit. All right. So in the truck, let's turn this the other way. That's about half a turn, 3/4 of a turn is when it starts to touch. So you can pretty much go, you know, all the way around like this way. Now when I get to the other side, that's definitely when it makes a lot more contact. So we're center, yeah. All right, so now let's go the same direction. And right in here is when that seems to make the contact on the right side. And I don't know why it rubs more here, but it is a loud scrub. I'm gonna turn it just a little more so we can see the area that we're contacting here. All right, so that's all the way to the end. And you see, you've got a lot more scrubbing going on. So I don't know if it's just this one little spot wants to stick out more. And I don't know if cutting this out is gonna do anything. I haven't yet came up with a solution. Now, I've identified it's definitely a problem, and I wanted to bring it out because I've already been asked on another video of, hey, what, you know, can I shove some big tires on the truck? Yeah, you can, but these are 32 inches, almost exactly, and they barely fit. They're barely fitting in here without rubbing. So if you want to go bigger than that, you're going to need to jack the truck up higher, maybe a 6-inch lift or whatever. And you know, the thing is, if we don't do anything about the problem, it will correct itself, because the tires are going to get worn out by the plastic fender liner, and then the plastic fender liner will be worn out by the tires. So eventually, if we just don't do anything, it won't scrub anymore. And honestly, if I was 18, I probably would take that approach, because when I was 18, I did a lot of things that I wouldn't do now, almost being 40. So I don't actually have a solution for this problem yet. So let's, as a community, maybe we can throw some comments down. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm all for it. I'm just here to point out what I did and the result of that. And another thing, the speed is not going to be correct on your speedometer. I mapped out a location that was exactly from A to point A to B was 2 miles. I drove there, and on our odometer we showed 1.8 miles. So that means for every mile we're driving legitimately, the odometer is showing 0.9 of a mile. And it could be 0.94, 0.98, I don't know. The odometer on the Frontiers doesn't have 100th. I mean, no odometer is really gonna have that. So that definitely affects your speed. I found a cool chart here. Here's a little graphic. I'll put a link in the description below, but you can put in whatever your tire configuration is, if your standard, and then your new tire wheel configuration, whatever, and it'll give you your speed. So with this setup, if I'm actually showing 65 on the speedometer, I'm actually doing closer to 70. And it really seems to be 65 is the sweet spot. Like once you get to 65, you can use the 5-mile-an-hour rule all the way up to 80 miles an hour. So if you are doing 80 on your odometer, or your speedometer, I'm sorry, you really are doing about 85. So don't be getting any speeding tickets. It's not my fault. I warned you. Okay, well, the truck looks terrible. It needs washed. We're gonna do that now. Hopefully at this point, I've given you enough information to make an informed decision. To answer the question of can you fit that tire size on this truck, honestly, I'm gonna leave it to you. Depends on what your situation is, and really it depends on what you're comfortable with. So if you guys have any questions, we have a lovely comment box below. Don't be a stranger. Throw your comment down there. We would love to participate in some chit chat, and we know the community will also engage. So appreciate you guys checking this video out, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.